Just like the majority of other types of sport, motorsport has been undergoing a period of fast development. The onboard electronics are a significant part of modern MotoGP, which is one of the major components. Casey Stoner, a former world champion who is now retired, has some contentious things to say about this topic in the latest episode of the Fast Lane podcast. Are you interested to know more? Well, then you are in the correct spot. So welcome back to our channel. Let's look at what Casey has to say, shall we? Casey Stoner surprised the world of MotoGP in 2012 when he announced his retirement from active racing after just 7 years in MotoGP. Many people believed that he was still very much at the peak of his game at the time of his retirement. On the other hand, it became clear much later that he had been afflicted with Epstein-Barr virus and consequently chronic fatigue syndrome. Casey Stoner is a legend in the sport of MotoGP and has a long relationship with Ducati, including a World Championship victory with them in 2007. But Stoner also criticizes the Italian team for not building the bike to the needs of the rider, instead creating it for the desires of the engineers. Stoner was the rider on the bike during the development process. Casey is correct in his assessment, as a number of riders have expressed similar dissatisfaction with Ducati over the years. Casey Stoner accuses Ducati of having too much electronics and attacks the company, claiming, "That's what they've failed. They don't tackle internal problems and install more electronics." It is common knowledge that Casey Stoner has never been a big fan of the amount of reliance on electronics that is present in MotoGP. The former rider recently returned to discuss the topic and ensure that, in his view, this is precisely the reason why Ducati no longer won titles. An excessive amount of reliance on electronics, combined with the fact that riders currently do not have a lot of knowledge about how the bike really works. I feel that this generation has lost a little understanding of what takes place on a weekend. If you are trying to protect your tires, if you are trying to set up your bike for the long run, etc., because there is so much electronic stuff now, or they put electronics on everything, the former rider said in the Fast Lane podcast, accusing the current generation of relying too much on electronics and not knowing more specifics about the motorcycle's own workings and behavior. It is not the actual way to fix problems, and that is not what is happening underneath. Afterward, he himself recalled his struggle as a rider back in the DAR and considered electronics a mistake, a way of deceiving reality. When I was a rider, I was always fighting against my engineers to get rid of as much of the electronics as I could from the free practice sessions or in the tests, to really try to understand what was going on with the bike and underneath. Afterward, he himself recalled his struggle as a rider B. In addition, he argues that it is specifically for this reason that the Borgo Panigale manufacturer has not been successful in acquiring other titles. Nowadays, they continue to add more and more electronics, which is similar to sticking a band-aid on top. This indicates that they are trying to fix the outer layer, also known as the crust, rather than the problems that lie deeper within the motorcycle. This is something that the Ducati has struggled with throughout the years, and I believe that this is the reason why they have not won a championship since I have been out of the picture, regardless of whether they take it or not. Will the Ducati MotoGP team take Casey Stoner's suggestions into consideration? How things turn out is up to time. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video and want to watch more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button and ring the bell icon so that you will never miss any updates.